What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. I had to ask y'all that question, man, because I want y'all to really, I want us to really evaluate and re-evaluate where we currently are in our life. And I'm not putting an age on this. I'm not just talking to people who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s or whatever, even in their mid to late 30s. I'm talking to you if you're 18, if you're 19, if you're 20, 22, 25. Um, when you ask somebody a question, I think if you just walked up to somebody and said, "Hey, man, can I ask you a question?" And they go, "Yeah." Um, are you wasting your life? I think they would look at you crazy at first. They would be like, Why would you ask me that for?" I think it would catch them off guard, but that's a legitimate question. And the reason why I'm putting it out there like that is because if we really be honest, man, the majority of the people in America and in the world, I would assume, but definitely in America, we spend the majority of our life giving of ourselves and our talents and our resources to somebody else, to something else. And people will say, well, yeah, man, that's called working. That's called making a living. That's called having responsibility and paying bills. And I get all that. But what's wrong with working and having responsibility and paying bills through means that are of your own doing, through your own dreams, through your own ambitions and aspirations and goals, where you are in control of that, and you are the one who's reaping the benefits of that, as opposed to, uh, I guess, the pressure and the stress of I have to go do this for somebody else so I can kind of do something for me and mine. The pressure is gonna be real regardless. So if the pressure is gonna be real regardless, then I rather be under that pressure for something that's gonna benefit me in the bigger picture. That's gonna benefit me, and that's something I'm gonna have complete control and ownership over. Just too many of us are scared. Too many of us are afraid to step off of that plantation because it is viewed and it's always been uh, dressed up and presented to us as a safety blanket, as a safety net, a security blanket that, hey man, this is a steady job. This is a good, honest, steady job. You can work. This the kind of job you can get. You can be there. You can work there for 30 years. You can retire from this job. You hear people say that all the time. Sometimes your parents will say that. Sometimes just different people to tell you. But and if you have done that, I ain't smacking you upside the head. If you've done that, especially if you've been happy doing it. I mean, my whole point of having this conversation is to try to crack the code of of getting to happiness. You know, and it's just too many. The majority of us are just around here unhappy, unsatisfied, and frustrated with the place that we are in our life. So when the question comes up, are we wasting our life? Then we got to really assess that. And even if it's 5 years, man, I wasted 5 years dealing with this. Or it could be dealing with a person. It ain't just about what you do for a living. Whatever the case is, those are chunks of time that you've lost. That you might be a person who's been incarcerated before and had to do 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You've given up a chunk of your life to something that should never have received that time from you in the first place. And God forbid you wait till you 45, 50 years old to start trying to do crimes and end up getting 15, 20 years. Then you really have wasted a lot of your formidable years. And because by the time you come out that thing, you walking on a cane. So we have to ask that question: are we in the process of wasting our life? And if we honestly say, yeah, man, these folks don't care nothing about me, man. Because I can give 10, 15, 20 years to a company, and they can walk in tomorrow and just say, hey, man, I'm sorry, we got to let you go. And they might not say, I'm sorry. You know, so you got to always ask that question, because we'll work on a job we hate for decades, or several different jobs we hate for decades. And even when you retire, man, you know, some people retire gracefully, but some people retire, and by the time they get to that point, they just so broke down, it's not much life left to squeeze out. Because it's been squeezed out laboring for somebody else. So, you know, how do we reverse it? We got to get to the point where we start to think about, well, man, you know, what dreams did I not follow? What dreams did I not pursue? And now that I'm 33, go for it. Now that I'm 28, go for it. Now that I'm 18, start going. Now that I'm 10, start thinking about what I'm going to do now. You know, it's no age limit on it. But you don't want to answer that question saying yes. But the problem is, now you're 69 years old. And now you're full of regret. And if you answer that question yes now, and you're 35 or 40, man, you still got a shot. Don't ever feel, oh, well, yeah, I did want to do that, but, you know, that was then. I'm too old now. Now, of course, if you're 46, you can't go to the NBA. But there are multiple things sometimes that we have that we want to do, and we can transition to those things if we just put our best foot forward and just believe, you know, and just pray on what we want to have. See, we'll talk all that talk, but, you know, man, I prayed and asked God, but then you don't really believe it, because the first time you hit a little bump, you quit. Oh, it must not be meant to be. Nah, man, you just hit a bump in the road, bro. Smooth that out and keep going. Don't waste your life, man. Don't waste your life, because one of the biggest, most disappointing, painful emotions that a human being can experience is regret. That's just my opinion, you know. Anytime I don't move on something that my gut was telling me to move on, it revisits me later. I'm like, man, I should. And when that window closed, you can't crawl back through it, man. So think about what I'm saying, man. Don't be scared to go for whatever it is you want to go for. Many people have done it. You wouldn't be the first to take a chance, to take a risk, to believe in yourself, to bet on yourself. You wouldn't be the first. So go for that, man, and let's get it on. Let's make some successful men and women out here. All right, it's your big brother, K-Rino. I'll catch y'all later on, man. Peace.